Hello, this is from Chef. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add some variation to your agents. In the scene, I have this simple agent group with my Atoms main character that at the moment is using the default skeletal mesh that is set up on the agent type component. In the content, I already imported some geometry that I want to use as a mesh variation on my agents. So Atoms support mesh and shading variation by using the variations asset. So let's start creating our variations asset. So let's create an Atoms agent variations. My variations map. Let's open this. So this asset contain for each agent type that you set up, for example, set up my man. Then I can provide a list of all different variations. For example, let's call variation 1. And now let's create this variation. Let's save for a second this one. Now we need to generate an agent variation asset this time. So variation 1. So the agent variation contain a list of all the skeletal meshes or static mesh using an attachment that the agent group need to use to draw that specific variation for an agent. So let's start to add some skeletal mesh here. So let's attach the body. Then I don't know, let's put these pants here, and then a t-shirt and some shoes. Oops. Let's add a new one, and let's add some shoes. Let's save this one and then close, and now we can assign my new variation. Okay, so now how we can assign this variation to a specific agent. So the first things, the agent group need to have the variation map. So select my variation map. I have the view mode in variation, and now I can set my variation each agent. Each agent has a string metadata called variation that contain the name of the variation that you set up here. So let me copy this one and now variation behavior. This module just set this string metadata. So if I set this one, now all the agents are using this variation. Obviously, I can set the agent. Example detail 3 are setting this variation. So now, for example, let's create another variation. This one, variation 2. Let's add some other meshes, like this one. And let's put the body, the hair this time. Also, let's take the shoes again. Let's save. And now we can use the the variation randomizer. Oh, sorry, we need to assign the new variation to the map. So it's my variation 2. Let's call this one variation 2. Let's save this one. Now I can use the variation randomizer. This one automatically randomize the variation that you want using different weights if you want. Now let's randomize. And now I have the two variations. And if you go here on the variations behavior, you can see the two variations. Let's have a look to the example of the attachment. So the attachment basically are like static meshes. So let's put a cube, this one. You can attach to specific bone. For example, I put left hand. We probably need to scale down to 0.1 because this one is quite big. And let's save. Okay, now use, still compiling. See, it's not at the right position, left hand, because the cube by default is at 0. So we need to apply offset, taking the bind pose of my hand, because otherwise, if the cube was already in the right position respect to the bind pose my agent, I don't need to turn on the bind offset. You can save this one, and now you can obviously tweak here. I don't know. Let's move. You can tweak the offset to apply to the attachment. Okay, so this one is a first example of the variation. Now, as you can see, if you have a lot of meshes, it's quite time consuming to prepare each variation this way. So if you want to speed up and the variation assignment and building more variation automatically, you can use the agent variation builder. So let's create the variation builder, and let's call as a new variation, and let's assign this to a new slot in my variation map, and use the builder. We'll save. Now let's open the builder. So the builder works in a tree fashion. So you start from root, then we have basically 4 node type. So we have a group node. The group node basically can have multiple children, and then you have skeletal, sorry, you have mesh nodes and attachment, also metadata, measuring a bit. So with the mesh node, basically, if I, for example, touch this one, and I take, I don't know, my shirt, then I press save, and now let me clear everything here, and let's use only variation 3. So basically, when the agents evaluates this variation, the tree is evaluated. So start from root, then you start to basically collect all the skeletal mesh and attachment, also metadata that is found inside the tree, as long as basically it traverses the tree. So now, for example, I have only the shirt here. I can now let me split better way. Put a group, and let's call, for example, top. And now here I have the shirt, and here I have another group, for example, the lower part of the body. Here I can, for example, take my trouser, assign this one, and then also take my skin. If you drag and drop, it automatically create the mesh node. Here you have the parameter, my body, this, also my hair. I have somewhere here. Okay, so now if I save this one, you see now basically each agent is composed by the hair, the body, then this shirt, and the trouser. Now let's randomize a bit these three. So now I have the shirt. Let me import also the t-shirt. Let me connect to the top part here. So now if I press save, it will basically add both the meshes to the agents. So as you can see, automatically add both the meshes. But if I, on the group, basically I have this option. So it's the use weight. So when this one is on, it's basically the group randomly pick one of its children, based on the weights that you have basically on each children. So for example, if I want the shirt to have the half probability respect to the t-shirt, put the weight to 50, while the t-shirt is 100, and save. Now you see I have more t-shirts compared to the shirt. If I lower this one again to, I don't know, 20, you see it's even lower. So with the weight, basically here you can like weight each mesh that you want in a group. Let's put here. Let's do the same thing for the bottom part. So take the jeans. Let's randomize this one. And yeah, the shoes. Let's randomize also the shoes. Let's put a group. Actually, if one more clean, you can set up this one, turn off. Let's put another group. It's called pants, and then you can connect this one too. And then let's import the shoes. Another feature of the drag and drop, that if you have multiple meshes here, you can drag drop both. If you drag and drop, if you drop directly here, it automatically generates, but if you want, you can drop directly on a group node. It automatically connects all the meshes to the group node. So if I now randomize the shoes, and I need to randomize the pants. And I have more variation using just a single variation builder. This one is for the skeletal meshes, but you have the attachment as well. So with attachment, you can use static mesh. Here you have the same parameter for attachment, so put name, offset, and apply bind offset option. You have a third type of nodes, that is metadata. So the metadata basically set a metadata on the agents when the agent group is picking this node. So for example, I have, for example, the bottom node here. Let's put a group. Let's set, for example, color. And the agents metadata, let's add a new color. For example, let's put a red. Connect this one. I want to randomize, so in this way the agent group randomly pick one of those metadata nodes and assign this metadata with this value. So if I save this one, now I can use this color to randomize the material of my, for example, of my pens. So I can, for example, the first thing that I need to promote that color and send that metadata, color metadata, to the material, and then on the, if I go on the jeans, for example, actually let's go on the trouser, and let's look to the material. Like this, and then I can access my color from the agent metadata. I can multiply this one. Save. And now you see, actually it's a little bit dark, but you see that it's randomized the color of the trouser. So this is another way for the variation. Another way is to manually build the variation instead to rely on the variation asset or the variation builder asset. Basically, you can manually add skeletal mesh component here. You see the agent group add the skeletal mesh component, and then add basically each agent to the draw list of all the skeletal mesh component or attachment. You can basically generate attach component by hand and add or remove agent at runtime from a specific instance component. So for example, let's remove this one. Okay, so now I have everything clear. Actually, let's remove all the component that is not used. So for the runtime component, just need to go here, and for example, if we randomize at the agent creation, agents, I can implement the agents created event, and here I can, for example, get component by class. Let's take the agent type. Take the agent type component, that is basically the parent of all the skeletal attachment component, and then I can use the add skeletal mesh instance component. Here I can tell to add, for example, the shirt, t-shirt, and then you can iterate for all the agents, and here from the agent type I can call the add agent to skeletal mesh instance component. I need the skeletal mesh component, and then I need the agent group ID. Let's save. Sorry, let's compile. If I press play, So now we don't see the shirt because probably it's under the default mesh. So if I go in the Atoms, agent type, let's remove the default mesh. If I press play, yeah, now you see I basically added manually the agent to the draw list of a specific skeletal mesh component. You can do the same thing with attachment. For example, let's add a skeletal attachment standard component. Now let's change this one here, change this one, let's put the cube, left hand, oops, no, sorry. Sorry, here, make offset, make transform. This one is my offset, so let's scale it. This one, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Yeah, and then we need to add the agents. Add agent, skeletal attachment stanced. Same thing, we'll attach the group ID here, and then let's connect the new attachment. Compile, let's run, and I have the cube there. So this is another example. You can generate variation at runtime. You can even call the agent, the add agent at different stage in your simulation. Then there is also the remove agent if you need to remove an agent. So if we check the agent type component, you have these two remove agents from skeletal attachment and the remove agent from the skeletal mesh. So that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.